In the secret realm, somewhere in the underground palace, Zhang Liangxin looked at the list of the heavenly demon monument, but she was a little angry. Gu Yongxi, Gu Qingchen, these two little bastards. Gu Yongxi and Gu Qingchen's names appeared on the list. Zhang Liangxin knew what this meant. These two little guys secretly ran to the Xuanhuang secret realm without telling her. But now, they should be with their husbands, so there is no need to worry too much. The names of the three people were listed on the Heavenly Demon Monument list at about the same time, so it can be judged that the three people should be together at this time. Looking at Gu Changqing, who was at the top of the list, Zhang Liangxin's eyes were full of tenderness. Such an excellent man as her husband. Zhang Liangxin was more and more fortunate that she married into the Gu family and married her husband. Speaking of which, she really had to thank Zhang Baiwei, her good sister. As soon as Gu Changqing's name appeared, the underground palace where Zhang Liangxin was completely blown up. Level 290. Are you sure there is not an extra zero? However, what they don't know is that Gu Changqing can get to level 290 because there are only 290 levels in the Heavenly Demon Monument. Not because he can only get to level 290. Gu again. What is the origin of this Gu family? Now on the list, 3 of the top 5 are from the Gu family, namely Gu Changqing in first place, Gu Yongxi in second place, and Gu Qingchen in fourth place. Of course, what others don't know is that she, who ranks third, is actually from the Gu family. In the top 5, 4 people are from the Gu family, and only Su Xiu is not related to the Gu family. Underground Palace now. 37. Zhang Baiwei looked at the people on the list, stunned. Gu Changqing? The long-forgotten memory was suddenly awakened. The young master of the Gu family in Zhang Lincheng seems to be called Gu Changqing, right? The waste in her eyes, who was not even as good as any of the slightly talented members of the Zhang family, the young master of the Gu family, now surpassed everyone, including the genius of the spiritual list, Su Ziyu, and topped the list, waste. If Gu Changqing was a waste, then what was she? Zhang Baiwei was in a very complicated mood. When Gu Changqing's name appeared on the list, she actually had no luck in her heart. Zhang Liangxin on the list was her sister, and that Gu Changqing was her brother-in-law. In just 2 years, what happened in the Gu family? She felt that it was necessary to go to Zhanglin's Gu family after she got out, after the trial of the Heavenly Demon Monument. The rewards had been distributed according to the final ranking. Xuanxi, Spiritual Liquid, and Wu Jinsha were obtained. As soon as the rewards were obtained, the two little guys presented them to their father. They were all his sons and daughters, so Gu Changqing didn't hesitate to be polite to them, especially Wu Jinsha, which was of great use to Gu Changqing. However, even though we have the materials, it is still extremely difficult to refine. It is hard to find a refiner. It is so hard to find a 4th level refiner, let alone a 5th level Emperor level refiner. There are probably not many in the entire spirit realm. After this trip to the secret realm, I have to go to the center of the spirit realm. The Han and Qin empires and even the Sea of 10,000 monsters are too remote. After the trial of the Heavenly Demon Monument, the trip to the Xuanhuang secret realm has come to an end. 3 days later, Gu Changqing and others were transported out of the Xuanhuang secret realm by a strong suction force. As soon as he came out, Gu Changqing sensed the breath of Zhang Liangdian and his father and others. Dad, sinner. Gu Changqing brought the two little guys, and Gu Qinger and others, and instantly appeared in front of Zhang Liangxin and Gu Yun and others. Mom! And the two little guys, like children who have done something wrong, hid behind Gu Changqing and looked at Zhang Liangxin with some fear. Gu Yun couldn't help laughing at this scene. He wanted to blame them, but seeing the expressions of the two little guys, Zhang Liangxin softened her heart again. Forget it. You two little troublemakers? Let mother see if you are injured. Shaking her head, Zhang Liangxin squatted down and carefully checked the two little guys. Seeing that her two children were safe and sound and not hurt, Zhang Liangxin was relieved. Let's go. Let's go back to Chengxin Pavilion first. Gu Changqing didn't feel the breath of other familiar people around him. It was unknown whether the people in Chengxin Pavilion had not come out yet, or they came out before them and returned to Chengxin Pavilion in advance. Before going back, Gu Changqing wanted to go to Chengxin Pavilion first and see how Mu Zi's affairs were handled. Anyway, they were just passing by. However, not long after Gu Changqing and his party left Xuanhuang secret realm and entered an uninhabited sea area, they were suddenly stopped by 4 strangers, 1 woman and 3 men. The woman is a half-king, and the 3 men behind her are all kings. One of the old men in black clothes is not an ordinary king, but has stepped into the realm of Heavenly King. Gu Changqing was a little surprised. The realm of Heavenly King may not be the top powerhouse in the other 3 seas, but it is definitely the top of the pyramid in the South China Sea. The weakest of the 4 seas? You know, in the entire South China Sea. Only the Zhenwu sect, known as the first sect in the South China Sea, has the realm of Divine King. The Heavenly King is almost invincible in the South China Sea. Evil sect. The aura of several people is extremely evil, not like that of upright cultivators. Run. Why don't you keep running? The charming woman in the lead looked coldly at Zhang Liangxin beside Gu Changqing, with a deep hatred in her eyes. Sinner, do you know her? Gu Changqing asked. When the charming woman spoke, her eyes were fixed on Zhang Liangxin. It was obvious that they were more than just acquaintances. There was probably a big conflict between the two of them. I know her. When she competed with me for the treasure in the secret realm, she was defeated by me. After I seriously injured her and she escaped, she found 3 half-kings to chase me for 3 whole days. Zhang Liangxin's eyes were also cold. After being chased by the other party for 3 whole days, Zhang Liangxin was naturally holding back a rage. If it weren't for the precious life-saving jade talisman that Gu Changqing gave her, she would have died in the secret realm long ago. When she was chasing me, she kept saying that she couldn't run away, and she would find me at the ends of the earth and make me regret offending her. Unexpectedly, after leaving the secret realm, she really found me. And she also brought 3 kings. It can be seen that this woman's identity is probably not simple. Run! Who said I'm going to run? Zhang Liangxin smiled. Husband, help me. Kill her. After leaving the secret realm, do you really think I'm afraid of you? Zhang Liangxin wants to let the other party know today that in terms of strength, the other party is not as good as herself. And in terms of background, I have my husband. And you are even worse, okay? Gu Changqing said nothing and slashed with the sword. A pure white sword light seemed to pierce the space. The moment the pure white sword light was slashed out, the faces of the 3 king realm masters beside the enchanting woman all changed wildly. Even the heavenly king level master was no exception. Not good. As soon as the sword light came out, the terrifying death came, and the 3 king realm masters instantly sensed the crisis. But Gu Changqing's sword could even kill the God King instantly. So what could they do if they sensed it? The speed of the pure white sword light was extremely fast. The 3 people were all like this at this time. Their consciousness reacted, but their bodies could not keep up with the reaction speed of their consciousness. So they could only watch the pure white sword light annihilate themselves. Wherever the sword light passed, the space began to become distorted. The blue sea was blasted into a long trench, extending several miles away. 1 sword. 3 kings fell. Among them was a heavenly king level master. Gu Qinger and other people from Chengshin Pavilion were so shocked by this scene that they were speechless. Gu Qinger was relatively good. It was the first time for the other Chengshin Pavilion disciples to see Gu Changqing take action. The 3 king realms are gone just like that. The Supreme Elder is so powerful. The only remaining enchanting woman trembled all over, looking at the indifferent Gu Changqing in horror. The rest of the people were fine, but the dead Wu Taishang was a genuine heavenly king realm expert. His status and strength in the sect were second only to Grandpa. At this moment, she regretted it. She regretted why she was so cheap and came to seek revenge on Zhang Liangxin. Senior, Another sword directly chopped the enchanting woman who had not finished speaking into nothingness, without even having time to use her means to save her life. No matter who you are, you must die today. Gu Changqing looked at the place where the enchanting woman was before and said lightly. After a small episode, Gu Changqing and his party continued to set off to return to Chengshin Pavilion. At this time in Chengshin Pavilion, the 3rd Elder was reporting to the Pavilion Master and the Great Elder what he saw and heard in the secret realm, including the incident that Gu Changqing killed the palace guard with 1 sword. After learning about this, both the Great Elder and the Pavilion Master of Chengshin were shocked, especially the Pavilion Master of Chengshin. He naturally knew that the Master was very strong, but he didn't have a very accurate concept of how strong he was. Maybe the late Xuanwang, or the perfect Xuanwang. This is what the Pavilion Master of Chengshin has always guessed. But now, the 3rd Elder told him that Gu Changqing's strength, even the God King can easily kill him? What kind of strength is this? Half-step Emperor. Even Emperor. Half a day later, the group arrived at Chengshin Island. But Gu Yuan did not follow Gu Changqing into Chengshin Pavilion, but asked Gu Qinger to take her to the Gu family on Wangqin Island to meet the head of the Gu family on Wangqin Island. That is, Gu Qinger's father. Since he learned that Gu Qinger had the blood of the Gu family, Gu Yuan almost recognized her as his goddaughter. Along the way, he asked about the recent situation of the Gu family on Wangqin Island. After sensing Gu Changqing's aura appeared on Chengshin Island, the head of Chengshin Pavilion and the elder hurried to greet him. Arrange a place for me to retreat. I will retreat for a while, Gu Changqing ordered. Gu Changqing gained a lot from this trip to Xuanhuang's secret realm, Xuanshui spiritual liquid. Although there is only 1 drop, this is a 5th level spiritual liquid. Even the Emperor will be tempted. There is also Ganlin Pill, a spiritual pill that purifies spiritual impurities and makes spiritual power more pure. Although it is not as good as Xuanshui spiritual liquid, it is also a 5th level spiritual pill. In addition, there are many high-level spiritual herbs and medicinal materials, which Gu Changqing found, Gu Yongxi and Zhang Liangxin found. Gu Changqing plans to refine them all into pills. Then during this period, improve your strength. The middle stage of Xuanwang is perfect. It's time to break through. The Xuanshui spiritual liquid was divided into 4 by Gu Changqing, 1 drop each for him. Zhang Liangxin, Gu Yongxi and Gu Qingchen. In this way, Gu Changqing began his retreat in Chengshin Pavilion. On the other side, as soon as Zhang Baiwei came out of the secret realm, she told Zhang Tianwang and Zhang Family Master everything she experienced at the Heavenly Demon Monument. When Zhang Baiwei heard the news, Zhang Tianwang and Zhang Family Master's first reaction was disbelief. Zhang Liangxin, whose spiritual bones were destroyed, although it is not said that it cannot be cured, but in order to cure it, at least a great man at the level of Venerable is needed, or an alchemist at the level of Danzan. but such existence may not exist in the entire spiritual realm, let alone in a place like the Han and Qin Empire. Moreover, even if Zhang Liangxin's spiritual bones were repaired, her talent was only about the same as Zhang Baiwei's. How could she possibly reach the top of the Heavenly Demon Monument, and still overwhelming the geniuses on the spiritual list? But Zhang Baiwei's next words made them silent again. In addition to Zhang Liangxin, the young master Gu Changqing of the Gu family of the Han Qin Empire was also on the list. In addition, there were 2 more people from the Gu family. In this case, the probability of coincidence is too low. After returning to the family, I will go to this Gu family in person. Whether it is true or not, we will know then, the head of the Zhang family said slowly. Dust Heart Pavilion. 3 days later, a terrifying aura descended on Dust Heart Island. At this moment, whether it was the mortals on the island or the disciples of the Dust Heart Pavilion, they all focused their eyes on the direction of the mountain gate of the Dust Heart Pavilion. That terrifying aura came from the direction of the Dust Heart Pavilion. In the Dust Heart Pavilion, Gu Changqing slowly opened his eyes, and his aura instantly converged. The late Xuan Wang is perfect. A quarter of a drop of Xuan Shui spiritual liquid directly made Gu Changqing's realm from the perfect middle Xuan Wang, leapfrogged the late Xuan Wang, and directly reached the perfect level of the late Xuan Wang, only 1 step away from the realm of the Heavenly King. In addition, the spiritual sword king weapon obtained from the secret realm was also refined by Gu Changqing. The Juxian sword formation finally has a spiritual sword of the 4th level king weapon level. What level is my strength now? Before the breakthrough, before the sacrifice of the king weapon, Gu Changqing estimated that his strength could fight with ordinary emperors. Now, not only has the realm broken through to the perfection of the late Xuan Wang, but also cooperated with the Juxian sword formation with the king weapon as the formation base. What level should my strength be? Sinner, give me some more time. I will take you to Kanglan Holy Land to avenge you for the past. Gu Changqing rarely mentioned this in front of Zhang Liangxin. This is the pain in Zhang Liangxin's heart, but Gu Changqing has never forgotten it, which is also the reason why he has worked so hard to improve his strength in the past 2 years. He wants to avenge Zhang Liangxin. Let Kanglan Holy Land disappear completely from this world. Kanglan Holy Land, one of the top holy lands in the southern part of the spiritual domain, not only has the emperor, but it is said that there is also a queen of heavenly kings. There are 3 realms in the king realm. There are 4 realms in the emperor realm: Xuan Emperor, Heavenly Emperor, Divine Emperor, and Holy Emperor, and the gap between each realm is even greater than that of the king realm. It is unknown whether Gu Changqing can face the Emperor of Heaven directly now. The Queen of Heavenly Kings will almost certainly lose. Give me a little more time. When I step into the realm of the Divine King, it will be the time for Kanglan Holy Land to be destroyed. Thinking of this, Gu Changqing stepped out of the retreat directly. Welcome the Supreme to come out of retreat. The figure of the Master of Chengxin Pavilion appeared in the room. Gu Changqing nodded. After a spiritual sense, Zhang Liangxin had come out of retreat before him. Now she was on the island, taking Gu Yongxi to play in the city under the gate of Chengxin Pavilion. However, there was no trace of Gu Qingchen, and no one knew where he had gone. Half-King. During this retreat, not only Gu Changqing's strength was greatly improved, but Zhang Liangxin and Gu Yunxi's improvement was also very great. First of all, Zhang Liangxin. Zhang Liangxin's cultivation realm has reached the perfection of the Half-King, and is only 1 step away from the King realm. The same is true for Gu Yunxi. This little guy has amazing talent, and has also reached the perfection of the Half-King. In terms of strength, I'm afraid that he has completely surpassed his mother Zhang Liangxin. It is amazing. As for his son Gu Qingchen, he has not been seen yet, so it is still unknown. Xuanqi spiritual liquid is worthy of being a rare 5th level spiritual object. Divided into 4, it can still improve several people so much. Of course, there is also Ganlin Pill. By the way, how is the Mu family's affairs? Gu Changqing suddenly thought of Mu Zi's affairs. Report to the Supreme Lord. I have already dealt with the affairs of the Mu family. Now the Mu family is headed by Miss Mu Zi, and has regained control of the Haiyu auction house, and is in sole control. Chen Yun replied slowly. Well, that's good. Is the Mu family willing to join me? Yes. Okay. In the future, you can have more exchanges with the Mu family. This bottle of pills, you send someone to send it to the Mu family on Haiyu Island and give it to the Half-King of the Mu family. Gu Changqing threw out a jade bottle, in addition to the Sanyuan breaking barrier pill. There were also several pills that improved the realm of cultivation, and all of them had 6 or 7 pill patterns. It was enough for the Supreme Lord Yin to break through the King realm as a force under my command. How can you do without the King realm? Hearing this, Chen Yun's heart moved. If he guessed correctly, the elixir in the jade bottle was the same as the one that Gu Changqing had given him to break through the King realm. Yes. In addition to the elixir for the Mu family, Chen Yun, Gu Changqing also threw out a few bottles of elixir to improve strength. You and the Great Elder should also practice well and strive to break through the Heavenly King realm as soon as possible. Thank you. Your Majesty, where is Qingchen? Gu Changqing asked when he thought that he had not sensed Gu Qingchen's aura near Chengxin Pavilion. After the young master came out of retreat, he insisted on going to Lanyu Palace, as if he was looking for a sister he met in the secret realm. The mistress couldn't persuade him, so she let him go. But don't worry. Your Majesty, I have ordered the Great Elder to follow you. There will be no danger. Lanyu Palace is not far from my Chengxin Island. Chen Yun said, this kid is really busy all the time. Forget it. Let him go. Gu Chongqing was not worried about his safety. With the life-saving jade talisman he gave, there was no one in the South China Sea who could threaten Gu Qingchen. Lanyu Palace. As soon as Yan Mengqi returned to the sect, she handed over the piece of red silver stone that Gu Qingchen gave her to the sect. The red silver stone was not of much use to Yan Mengqi. It was better to exchange it for sect points and then exchange it for cultivation resources. The same was true for senior brother Lan and others. Everyone understood the principle that it was a crime to possess a treasure with Gu Qingchen's warning in front. No one in Lanyu Palace would dare to take the red silver stone from them, but it was not certain outside Lanyu Palace. Once people knew that they had the 4th level or red silver stone, then just a small piece would be enough to bring them a catastrophe. Therefore, handing it over to the sect was the best choice. However, what senior brother Lan and the others didn't know was that the top leaders of Lanyu Palace were also panicking. Lanyu Palace was just a semi-king sect, and it wasn't particularly strong among the semi-king sects, so as soon as he came back, the Lanyu Palace master told all the elders and disciples who knew about this matter that they must not tell anyone about the red silver stone. Once it gets out, Lanyu Palace will be in great trouble. We have to find a way to auction or sell these pieces of red silver stone as soon as possible. Lanyu Palace Master thought to himself. And for Yan Mengqi, everything she experienced in just these few days was like a dream. The sect points she got from the red silver stone were enough for her to not have to worry about cultivation resources for a long time in the future. Furthermore, after seeing the evildoer of Gu Qingchen and the terror of his father, the 3rd elder of Lanyu Palace proposed to accept Yan Mengqi as his personal disciple after Gu Qingchen separated from them that day. The personal disciple of the 3rd elder, a personal disciple of a half-king. This was something Yan Mengqi had never dared to think about before. Before this, she was just an ordinary outer disciple, and now she was accepted as a personal disciple by the 3rd elder. She was directly promoted to the true disciple of Lanyu Palace. With this status, she could easily refuse the marriage in the clan, and all this was brought to her by Gu Qingchen. Yan Mengqi was very grateful and fortunate that she chose to take Gu Qingchen, the little crybaby, with her. On this day, with the help of the errand disciples, Yan Mengqi had packed her things and was ready to move to the new residence of the true disciples. But before that, Yan Mengqi planned to go back to the family first to inform her parents about her promotion to the true disciple, and refuse the marriage in the clan. The Yan family, where Yan Mengqi was located, was also on Lanyu Island, where Lanyu Palace was located. Lanyu Island was very large, and there was more than just Lanyu Palace on the island. But Lanyu Palace was the most powerful force on the island. There were many large and small forces on the island, and the Yan family, where Yan Mengqi was located, was one of them. There were only 3 or 2 small families in the Calamity Realm in a clan. The strongest person was only Yan Mengqi's father, the head of the Yan family, who was in the 3rd level of the Calamity Realm. The Yan family was not far from the gate of Lanyu Palace, so it didn't take Yan Mengqi long to return to the small town where the Yan family was located, Wangshu City. Even in this small town, the Yan family was not considered a big family. When Yan Mengqi returned to the family was particularly lively, as if there was some happy event. Sister Yan, looking at Yan Mengqi, who appeared outside the Yan family mansion, a girl in white who was about to go out in a hurry, was suddenly surprised. Yan Mengqi naturally knew her. Her cousin, Yan Xiaowu. Sister Yan, you are back at the right time. The head of the family was about to let me go to Lanyu Palace to call you back. Yan Xiaowu was very happy. Yan Mengqi came back by herself, which saved her from going to Lanyu Palace again. The people of the He family came to propose marriage, the 2nd young master of the He family. Sister Yan, your future husband is also here, ready to formally propose marriage to my Yan family. As she said, a deep envy flashed across Yan Xiaowu's eyes. That's the 2nd young master of the He family, one of the 3 great sons of Wangshu City. His talent is higher than his elder brother, who is already an inner disciple of Lanyu Palace. His future is limitless. I really envy you. Sister Yan. Envy. Yan Mengqi smiled. The He family is one of the 2 major families in Wangshu City. The 2nd young master of the He family is one of the most influential figures among the younger generation in the city, and there are many admirers. In terms of family background and talent, the other party is not bad, but Yan Mengqi really doesn't have any feelings for him. Feelings can't be forced. If you don't like it, you just don't like it. It's just right that the people from the He family are here. Today, let's completely stop this matter. Along the corridor, the 2 quickly came to the lobby. Entering the lobby, in addition to his parents and several elders in the clan, Yan Mengqi also saw the people of the He family sitting on the other side. The 2 sides talked happily and happily. Kier, you're back. Seeing the person coming, Yan's father stood up directly. Master, I was just about to go to Lanyu Palace to find Sister Yan, but I didn't expect her to come back, Yan Xiaowu explained. You're back just in time? Come on, come and meet Patriarch He. While Yan Mengqi was paying respects to everyone, Master, he was also looking at his future daughter-in-law. She's not bad looking, but she's just an outer disciple of Lanyu Palace, so her talent is a little worse. But since his son likes her, it doesn't matter. It's normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. If he meets a better one in the future, he can marry another one. Shao Qi, the 2nd young master of the He family, named He Xiaofu, has never taken his eyes off Yan Mengqi since she appeared in the lobby. Next to He Xiaofu, there was also a slightly older young man sitting there. This man was wearing the clothes of an inner disciple of Lan Yu Palace. I think he was He Xiaofu's brother. Dad! Master He, I'm sorry I can't agree to this marriage. After completing the formalities, Yan Mengshi suddenly said something shocking. This sentence made everyone in the hall silent. Master, he frowned slightly. After a short silence, the furious voice of Yan's father instantly resounded throughout the hall. Nonsense. Your mother and I have discussed this matter. How can you just say you don't want to marry? Looking at his angry father, Yan Mengshi felt a little sad. I am now a true disciple of Lan Yu Palace. If I don't marry, no one can force me, including you, Dad. What? True disciple of Lan Yu Palace. Puff. When Yan Mengshi said this, everyone's first reaction was not shock, but laughter. You, true disciple, even if you don't want to marry my brother, you don't have to make up such a ridiculous lie, right? The young man sitting next to the second young master of the Yi family slowly stood up. His eyes, there was a hint of sarcasm in his expression. He was the elder brother of He Xiaofu, the second young master of the He family. At the same time, he also had another identity, the inner disciple of Lan Yu Palace. Someone was promoted to the true disciple. How come I, an inner disciple of Lan Yu Palace, don't know anything about it? You know, it's not a small matter to be promoted to the true disciple. Don't say that the He family didn't believe it. Yan's father and others didn't believe it even more. He didn't know what talent his own daughter had, let alone the true disciple. It's hard for her to even be promoted to the inner sect. At this moment, Yan's father felt extremely ashamed. If you say you don't want to get married, then just say you don't want to get married. Saying these ridiculous reasons will only make my Yan family a laughingstock. Seeing that everyone didn't believe it, Yan Mengqi was about to take out the true disciple token given to her by her master, the third elder of Lan Yu Palace, when a terrifying pressure suddenly came from the sky, covering the entire island including Lan Yu Palace. What is this? On Lan Yu Island, countless people looked up. This was the first time they had felt such a terrifying pressure. There is a powerful king who has come to Lan Yu Island. Some of the more experienced robbery masters were shocked. This pressure was definitely not something that a half-king master could possess. Even a perfect half-king could not possess this level of pressure. Only a king. What is the matter with this king who has come to Lan Yu Island? Did Lan Yu Palace offend him? Hiss, if that's the case. Please don't implicate us. Many people began to pray in their hearts if a king level being attacked indiscriminately. The entire island could be sunk in one blow. For a while, there were many different opinions on the island, and all kinds of speculations were made. Young master, we're here. This is Lan Yu Palace, above the sky. The figures of the great elder of Chengshin Pavilion and Gu Qingchen stood in the air. The aura of the king level instantly alarmed all the high-level officials of Lan Yu Palace. The lord of Lan Yu Palace was the first to appear in the air, standing with the great elder and Gu Qingchen. Beside the lord of Lan Yu Palace, there were also the great elder and the deputy lord of Lan Yu Palace. Lan Yu Palace is a semi-king force, but it is not very strong among the semi-king forces. It is even worse than the former Chengshin Pavilion. There is only one half-king, the palace master, and he is only in the middle stage of the half-king. The great elder and the deputy lord of the palace are both in the 9th level of the tribulation realm. Therefore, the arrival of a king level can be said to scare several people. Welcome, senior. Welcome, senior. The three of them spoke in unison and bowed to show respect. However, this scene shocked the countless people who were watching on Lan Yu Island, except for some slightly knowledgeable Tribulation Realm masters. The rest of the people did not know the real strength of the Great Elder. Therefore, the shock this scene brought to them can be imagined. To be able to make the Palace Master perform such a great ceremony? Could this old man be a king realm? In the Yan family mansion, Master, his elder brother, was shocked. Lan Yu Palace is the undisputed overlord of Lan Yu Island. In the eyes of Lan Yu Palace disciples, the Palace Master is the supreme existence and a half-king, level strongman who controls the entire island. But now, facing these two people who suddenly appeared, or to be more precise, the old man, he actually performed the ceremony of a junior, so respectfully. It is impossible to make a half-king strongman perform the ceremony of a junior, even if he is a perfect half-king, right? Only King Realm, the real King Realm. Lan Yu Island actually has a King Realm strongman, Xiao Chen. Unlike others, everyone's attention is almost on the great elder of Chengdin Pavilion, who is a King Realm strongman. But Yan Mengqi noticed the little boy next to the elder of Chengdin Pavilion, Xiao Shen. You are not here to find me. Are you? Yan Mengqi suddenly remembered that when she was in the secret realm, Gu Qingchen said that he would come back to find her after he came out. At that time, Yan Mengqi just thought that Gu Qingchen was joking and used it to shock the third elder and senior brother Liu unexpectedly. It was not a joke. Xiao Shen, he really came in the air. The elder nodded to the lord of Lan Yu Palace and others, and said, "Don't panic. I have no ill intentions. I am here just to find a friend of my young master. Young master." Everyone's eyes began to move to the little boy next to the elder. That is, Gu Qingchen. It turns out that this senior in the king realm is just the follower of the little boy. Guard. Now, everyone is even more shocked. At the same time as being shocked, They are also very confused. What is the identity of this little boy? After hearing what the elder of Chengxin Pavilion said, the master of Lanyue Palace finally put his mind at ease and breathed a sigh of relief. He was really afraid that the visitor had bad intentions. If a king realm was an enemy rather than a friend, it would be a disaster for Lanyue Palace. So he asked, "May I ask the senior, what is the name of your young master's friend? I will ask someone to invite him now." However, as soon as he finished speaking, the master of Lanyue Palace remembered something. Little boy, red silver stone. He suddenly remembered something the third elder had told him. Yan Menki. My sister's name is Yan Menki. The elder didn't say anything, but the little guy next to him couldn't wait to speak because his black eyes scanned the Lanyue Palace square. But he didn't find Sister Yan. Sure enough, after hearing the 3 words Yan Mengqi, the master of Lanyue Palace was startled. Originally, a mere former outer disciple was not enough for the palace master to remember. But after the trip to the secret realm, this outer disciple was no longer as simple as an ordinary outer disciple. Gu Qingchen's childish voice was not concealed, so everyone in the Yan family mansion could hear it. Yan Menqi. After a short moment of daze, whether it was the Yan family, including Yan's father, or the He family member, they all turned their eyes to Yan Mengqi on the side, Sister Yan. And at this moment, the little guy in the air sensed Yan Mengqi's breath and found her instantly. The little guy jumped directly from the air and landed in the Yan family courtyard. Xiaoxin. Yan Mengqi was also very happy. She walked to the little guy in 2 steps and picked him up. But after picking him up, she seemed to feel something was wrong. When she wanted to put him down, Gu Qingchen was like a koala, hanging on Yan Mengqi and refused to come down. Sister Yan, I miss you so much. Hugging Yan Mengqi's neck, the little guy kept rubbing against her. Gu Qingchen was only 2 years old, so his way of expressing emotions was naturally different from adults, are not as reserved as adults, but very straightforward. Sister misses you too? In the secret realm, Yan Mengqi treated the little guy as a younger brother. Later, when she knew that Gu Qingchen was amazingly powerful and had a noble identity, she became a little distant. It's not that they are distant, but Yan Mengqi's inferiority complex is at work. Gu Qingchen has amazing potential and is definitely not an ordinary person. He is probably from a big force, while she is just a disciple of a half-king sect, and she is only an outer disciple. The gap between the 2 identities is too big. Therefore, after she separated from Gu Qingchen, Yan Mengqi felt that this should be a farewell forever. I am afraid that I will never have any connection with Gu Qingchen again. Therefore, when Gu Qingchen said when they separated, "I will find you again," Yan Mengqi just regarded it as a joke and didn't take it to heart. But I didn't expect this little guy really came. However, the 2 of them did not know how much impact this action would have on Yan's father and other members of the Yan family, as well as the He family, especially the eldest son of the He family. This little ancestor who has a strong follower of the king realm actually came for Yan Mengqi. Several people just felt dizzy. Yan Mengqi left, leaving with Gu Qingchen. She didn't have much affection for the family, and the same was true for her parents. Her parents only regarded her as a tool for marriage, a springboard for the Yan family to take a step forward. Her opposition and her feelings were not important at all. If it weren't for everything Gu Qingchen brought, her final outcome would have been to marry the 2nd young master of the He family, marry someone she didn't like, and spend the rest of her life. She would repay the grace of giving birth and raising her, but she never wanted to step into the Yan family again. Before leaving, she did not forget to take out her true disciple token and show it to everyone, especially the eldest young master of the He family. Just now, he swore that Yan Mengqi could not be a true disciple. But now, the previous words were like a series of substantial slaps, slapping the face of the eldest young master He. Does it hurt? Of course. It turns out that everything Yan Mengqi said was not false, but they just didn't want to believe it. Moreover, compared with the identity of a true disciple of Lanyue Palace, Yan Mengqi's other identity seems even more terrifying. Although Gu Qingchen is young, he has an amazing background. With a powerful king as his follower, it is hard to imagine how terrifying the existence behind him is. The 2 of them were so intimate like siblings before, and it was obvious that their relationship was not ordinary. This relationship was the most surprising. Looking at the back of Yan Mengqi holding Gu Qingchen's hand, Yan's father felt mixed emotions when Yan Mengqi said that she had advanced to the true disciple. As Yan Mengqi's father, his first reaction was not to believe it, but to think that Yan Mengqi was lying, and that Yan Mengqi's clumsy lies were adding a laughingstock to his Yan family and bringing shame to the Yan family. Next, Gu Qingchen stayed in Lanyue Palace for 3 full days before leaving. Before leaving, he was still reluctant to leave. Gu Qingchen had a special feeling for Yan Mengqi. In the secret realm, no one knew how scared Gu Qingchen was. It had nothing to do with his strength. It was the first time that the little guy left his sister Gu Yunxi. It was the first time that he was alone without his father and mother. It was the fear of everything strange and unknown. Although he looked 4 or 5 years old, he was actually only 2 years old, a half-grown child. Yan Mengqi appeared like an angel, illuminating him, constantly comforting him and coaxing him, which made the fear in Gu Qingchen's heart dissipate a lot. Later, Gu Qingchen would never forget the scene of humbly asking senior brother Lan, senior brother Lu, and others to let him stay. Before leaving, Gu Qingchen also gave Lan Mengqi a lot of elixirs to improve his cultivation and heal his wound. This was what Gu Qingchen asked his mother Zhang Langxin for before he came. Sister Yan, I will come to play with you again. By the way, sister, if you have any troubles, take this jade token and go to Chengxin Pavilion. Chengxin Pavilion is one of the forces under my father's command. It will solve all your troubles for you. If it can't be solved, I will let my father take action. Gu Changqing handed over a jade token with the word Chen engraved on it in his chubby little hand. This is also the main reason why Gu Qingchen went to Chengxin Pavilion. Chengxin Pavilion, Chengxin Pavilion. Of course she knew, being in the South China Sea, it is natural that she cannot be unfamiliar with Chengxin Pavilion, a newly promoted king-level force. Although it is a newly promoted king-level sect, it has 2 king-level strongmen sitting in it, for Lanyue Palace and Yanmengqi. Chengxin Pavilion is definitely a behemoth, but such a king-level force is actually just one of the forces under Xiao Chen's father. Speaking of Gu Qingchen's father, Yanmengqi's mind immediately emerged with the scene of Gu Changqing suppressing the silver-armored stone figurine in the secret realm. The young man in white, who looked like a banished immortal, was Xiao Chen's father. The scene of Yan Mengqi and Gu Qingchen bidding farewell was seen by many people in Lanyue Palace. Some of them felt a little uncomfortable. The novel was taken from the Rollies website. Close where you're reading it and support us on our website for more free novels. These people were Brother Lu, who was unwilling to take Gu Qingchen with him in the secret realm and parted ways with Yan Mengqi and others, and those who had followed Brother Lu to leave. At this moment, the regret in her heart reached its peak. If they had not chosen to leave with Brother Lu, then now, I am afraid everything would be different. Brother Lan and others who were on good terms with Yan Mengqi have now been promoted to core disciples, while they are still just inner disciples. As time goes by, the gap will only get bigger and bigger. Now Yan Mengqi has to be polite to even the palace master, and even a little flattering. With Gu Qingchen's relationship, not to mention the palace master, even the king realm experts would have to think twice before attacking Yan Mengqi. There was once an opportunity in front of them, but they didn't, they cherished it. But now they regret it. A choice directly determines their future life. Where there are people, there will be struggles. The sea area where Lanyue Palace is located is no exception. This sea area is called Fuhai, where the forces are complicated and undercurrents are surging. There are as many as 6 or 7 half-king forces, and Lanyue Palace is just one of them. At this moment, what the Lanyue Palace Master does not know is that somewhere in Fuhai, a plan to destroy the Lanyue Palace is quietly unfolding, and as many as 4 half-king forces are involved. The leader is the half-king sect, Qianming sect, which has been hostile to Lanyue Palace for many years. At this time, there are 3 half-kings gathered in Tianming sect, 1 in the middle stage, 2 in the early stage, and 1 half-king has not arrived yet. The one in the middle stage of the half-king is the leader of Tianming sect. In order to destroy Lanyue Palace, the 4 half-king forces have formulated a detailed plan, so as not to let anyone from Lanyue Palace go, since the benefits have been distributed. We will start in 3 days. The eyes of the Tianming sect master flashed with coldness. The plan to destroy the Lanyue Palace has not been 1 or 2 days, but started more than a year ago. However, at the beginning, it was not safe to have only the Qianming sect and another half-king family. The strength of the Lanyue Palace was not weak in Fuhai, especially the Lanyue Palace master, who was very powerful. Ordinary, 1 or 2 half-kings in the middle stage might not be able to do anything to him, but now, 4 half-kings, 2 in the middle stage, and 2 in the early stage. Whoosh! A figure in a black robe appeared between the 3 people. The late middle-aged man in a black robe was named Feng Qing, one of the half-king sects in Fuhai, the leader of Fengyue sect, and a strong half-king in the middle stage, just like the Tianming sect master. Feng Qing, who had just arrived, had a gloomy face. He took 2 steps to the front of the stage and tore the plan drawings that several people had made into pieces. Master Feng, what do you mean, Feng Qing? What are you doing? The master of Tianming sect and the other 2 early half-kings frowned and scolded. What's wrong with Feng Qing suddenly? All the plans to destroy Lanyue Palace are cancelled. Feng Qing glanced at the few people and said only this sentence, then turned around and prepared to leave. Are you scared? After planning for more than a year, Feng Qing suddenly changed his mind, which made the 3 half-kings, including the master of Tianming sect, particularly dissatisfied. I don't know what stimulated Feng Qing. After planning for more than a year, he said to cancel it. If you are scared, then you Fengyue sect should withdraw. We are looking for others. As long as you don't leak the news, the master of Tianming sect said coldly. Feng Qing was the main force in the plan to destroy Lanyue Palace. Without Feng Qing, the plan could not be implemented. Feng Qing's sudden withdrawal disrupted all his plans. Afraid, Feng Qing paused. Yes, I am afraid. If you want to die, don't drag me with you. I just got the news that a king-level strongman came to Lanyue Palace. Although I don't know what the relationship is with Lanyue Palace, but he is a king-level strongman. After saying that, Feng Qing didn't stay any longer and disappeared here. What? King realm. Feng Qing left, but his words still echoed in the minds of several people. At this time, They finally understood why Feng Qing suddenly wanted to withdraw and why his actions were so contrasting. It turned out to be because of this King Realm. The closer you are to the King Realm, the more you understand what these two words mean. What is a half-king? It is just a realm created by some people who want to distinguish themselves from the tribulation realm. In ancient times, there has never been a so-called half-king, only the tribulation realm. And after the tribulation realm, it is the king. Half-king is just a way to flatter yourself in front of the real king realm. The half-king is an ant-like existence. Even if the half-king is perfect, in front of the king realm strongman, it is just a slightly larger ant and can be easily destroyed. A king realm appeared in Lanyu Palace. No matter what the relationship between this king realm and Lanyu Palace is, it is enough to make them dare not touch Lanyu Palace at all. This is the deterrent power of the king realm. Of course, it is also possible that the king realm was just passing by the Lanyu Palace, or for some other reasons, and actually had nothing to do with the Lanyu Palace, but no one dared to bet. The Qianming Sectmaster did not dare either. He dared, and the two early half-kings beside him did not dare either. Once the bet was wrong, what awaited them would be a catastrophe. The anger of the king realm was not something that these mere half-king forces could bear. Forget it. Forget it. This sect will go to the Lanyu Palace in person? The Qianming Sectmaster sighed deeply. If you want to say that you are unwilling, then there must be. But no matter how unwilling you are, what can you do? Qianming, you still want to go to the Lanyu Palace? The words of the Qianming Sectmaster can be said to have scared the other two half-kings. The Qianming Sectmaster glanced at the two cowards. In one sentence, you two half-kings were scared like this. It's not the fault of the two half-kings. Once this matter involves them, they will be in big trouble. They didn't want to die yet. Our sect is going to apologize to Lanyu Palace and make amends. Turn hostility into friendship. Do you understand? Come on. Prepare gifts? The words of the Qianming Sectmaster made the two half-kings feel relieved. Wait, the two of us will go to... On this day, Lanyu Palace Master summoned Yan Mingke. In the hall, Yan Mingqi also saw her master. The third elder, Palace Master. Master, I don't know what you want me to do, Yan Mingqi asked respectfully. Although she had this relationship with Gu Qingchen, even the Palace Master treated her with courtesy. But Yan Mingqi did not become proud and complacent. She knew that everything she had was brought to her by Gu Qingchen. And what the Palace Master and others really cared about was not herself, but the relationship between herself and Gu Qingchen? Nothing. I just discussed with the Palace Master and thought it would be better for the Palace Master to teach you cultivation in person, the third elder said with a smile. The Palace Master wants to take me as a disciple. Yan Mingqi was a little flattered. That's what I mean. The Palace Master Lanyu nodded. But I have already worshipped the third elder as my master. Yan Mingqi glanced at the third elder who was next to the Palace Master Lanyu. It's okay. Practicing with the Palace Master is much better than following an old man like me. The third elder smiled freely. After thinking for a moment, Yan Mingqi bowed deeply to the Palace Master Lanyu, apologetically. Palace Master, I still want to stay with my master, whether in the secret realm or after coming out. The third elder treated her very well, although there was Gu Qingchen's reason. It is undeniable that the third elder treated her very well. The Palace Master wanted to accept her as a disciple, mostly because of her relationship with Xiaoshen. She knew her own talent very well. Becoming a disciple of the Palace Master made Yan Mingqi feel very pressured. In comparison, staying with the third elder was not bad. The third elder's heart moved slightly, and he looked at Yan Mingqi with soft eyes. It's okay. It's me who was abrupt. The Palace Master Lanyu didn't care, and didn't hate anyone because of it. As the master of a palace, how could he not have this tolerance? Whether it's becoming a disciple of her or continuing to stay under the third elder. They are all disciples of Lanyu Palace, and this will not change. This is enough. However, at this moment, the Palace Master Lanyu suddenly frowned. In his spiritual sense, there are 3 half-king level auras approaching Lanyu Island quickly. One of the auras also made the Palace Master feel a little familiar. The 3 auras were extremely fast, and soon they had already reached the sky above the gate of Lanyu Palace. The Lanyu Palace Master took a step forward and appeared directly in the air above Lanyu Palace. The 3 half-kings looked at each other from afar. Master Qianming, Patriarch Ning, Master Gao. The 3 half-kings were known to the Lanyu Palace Master. They were all the masters of the half-king forces in Fuhai and were well-known half-king level masters. The appearance of the 3 half-kings immediately made the Lanyu Palace nervous, as if they were facing a great enemy, especially the Qianming sect, which has always been at odds with the Lanyu Palace. Those who come may not be kind. Several Lanyu Palace elders, led by the Great Elder, directly supported the sect formation and looked at the 3 half-kings led by the Master Qianming with a solemn expression. What wind blew the 3 of you here? If you want to cause trouble for my Lanyu Palace, I'm afraid you alone are not enough. The pressure of the Lanyu Palace Master at the mid-stage of the half-king level was released instantly. Looking at the Lanyu Palace, which was tense from top to bottom, the Qianming sect master smiled bitterly, but had no intention of confronting the Lanyu Palace Master. Not only did he not release his pressure, but he also restrained his momentum and took the initiative to surrender. Palace Master Lanyu, we are not here to cause trouble for the Lanyu Palace, but to resolve the grudge between you and me. After saying that, the Qianming sect master threw out a storage ring. The Lanyu Palace master probed into it with his consciousness and was slightly surprised. There are quite a few good things in the storage ring, in addition to a large number of spiritual stones. In addition, our Qianming sect is willing to give up the spiritual mine located on Qiongxing Island to Lanyu Palace for mining. The Qiongxing Island spiritual mine. It is the foundation of the Qianming sect. Actually, you want to give it up. The words of the Qianming sect master made everyone in Lanyu Palace, including the Lanyu Palace master, stunned. The Qianming sect, which has been at odds with Lanyu Palace for many years, suddenly took the initiative to surrender and wanted to make peace with Lanyu Palace and gave up so many benefits. Is the Qianming sect master's brain broken? Or is there some conspiracy? First take the initiative to surrender and wait for Lanyu Palace to let go of its guard. And then everyone in Lanyu Palace really couldn't figure out why the Qianming sect master did this. On the other hand, the Lanyu Palace master carefully observed the Qianming sect master and then accepted the storage ring. Okay, I agree. From today on, all the grievances between my Lanyu Palace and the Qianming sect will be written off. 3 days later, I will send someone to take over the Qiongxing Island spirit mine. The Qianming sect master breathed a sigh of relief. In this case, this sect will take its leave. After returning, I will immediately send a message to Qiongxing Island to let the people of our sect withdraw. After saying this, the Qianming sect master left. The other two half-kings did not. The two looked at each other and also threw out 2 storage rings. Palace Master Lanyu, this is a little gift from the 2 of us. Please accept it. Palace Master Lanyu took the storage ring, and the things inside were not much worse than what the Qianming sect master gave. If the Qianming sect master suddenly showed weakness and wanted to turn enemies into friends with the Lanyu Palace, it was still traceable. But now these 2 half-kings suddenly presented gifts, which made people a little puzzled and confused. Many people present knew these 2 half-kings, who were the leaders of the 2 half-king forces in Fuhai, but they did not have much contact with the Lanyu Palace on weekdays, and it could even be said that they did not know each other. Why did they suddenly show goodwill? No problem. No problem. But the Lanyu Palace master, on the other hand, accepted all offers. If you dare to give that, I dare to take. Seeing this, the 2 half-kings were also relieved. They did not have any hatred with the Lanyu Palace in the past, but after joining the Qianming sect master's clan destroying plan, it was not the case. If this matter is exposed in the future, Qianming sect is fine, but they are afraid that they will be in trouble. Therefore, they first showed goodwill to the Lanyu Palace and sent a great gift in order to leave them a way out in case the extermination plan was exposed in the future. They came and went in a hurry. Palace Master, this matter is too abnormal. I'm afraid there is a conspiracy. An elder frowned slightly as he looked at the direction where the Qianming sect master and the other 2 left. Abnormal. No, not abnormal at all. The Lanyu Palace master laughed. 4th elder, you think too much. There is no conspiracy in this at all. The 4th elder was stunned. Palace master is right. There is indeed no conspiracy in this. The grand elder of the Lanyu Palace also stood up, stroking his beard and smiled. Do you remember the King Realm strongman who came to Lanyu Island a few days ago? The words of the Grand Elder instantly made the people present understand. I understand. It turns out that it was the residual power of that King Realm senior. The 4th Elder showed a look of understanding on his face. That's right. Lanyu Palace Master nodded. Is this the deterrent power of a King Realm expert? This Elder has seen it. The King Realm expert, just by appearing in Lanyu Palace, made the Qianming sect, which had been at odds with Lanyu Palace for many years, take the initiative to surrender and apologize to seek reconciliation. King Realm, everyone's hearts were burning, and their eyes showed a strong yearning. Just when Lanyu Palace subdued the 3 Fuhai sects and its prestige soared, a big event happened in the Han-Qin Empire. After returning from the Xuanhuang secret realm, the Zhang Tianwang of the Zhang family went into seclusion again. When he came out of seclusion again, he caused a vast vision, magnificent and boundless, stirring up the land for thousands of miles. But he finally broke through that critical threshold and entered the realm of the God King, the last of the 3 realms of the kingly way, the realm of the God King. In this Han-Qin Empire, such strength is the top of the pyramid, the only peak. Even the strongest ancestor of the royal family of the Han and Qin empires was only at this level. Therefore, with the ancestor of the Zhang family entering the realm of the God King. Now the Zhang family has truly obtained the qualification to be on an equal footing with the Han and Qin royal family. For a time, the entire Han and Qin empire was boiling with excitement, especially those family forces located in the eastern part of Han and Qin. Adjacent to the Zhang family, they sent envoys one after another, bringing generous gifts to the Zhang family gate, congratulating the Zhang family ancestor for becoming a God King. Even the royal family of the Han and Qin empires sent envoys to the Zhang family. The Zhang family was more and more proud. Even the Gu family, far away in Jianglan City, was affected to a certain extent. Over the years, the Gu family has been very low-key. But even so, the Gu family has already had the momentum of being the first family in Jianglan City. But this first family, compared with the Jiang family, is more than one level behind. And its deterrent power is limited to the cultivators in Jianglan City, some industries and manpower of the Gu family outside Jianglan. They are quite friction in fighting with the local big forces. But now, with the emergence of a God King in the Jiang family, the leaders of those forces have arranged their subordinates to restrain themselves and no longer dare to have any conflicts with the Gu family. Although the Gu family and the Jiang family are not very close, and no envoys from the Jiang family have visited for many years, the relatives of the God King family are still relatives of the God King family. Who knows when the God King family will think of this and help the Gu family get back their phase? They dare not gamble. They don't want to gamble. Then they can only make concessions to the Gu family. But they made concession? When the news spread to the Gu family, everyone in the Gu family felt helpless. Jiang family? God King family. What does that count for? The rise of their Gu family depends on their young master, Gu Changqing. It has never been based on the Jiang family. But they don't have to go over and explain anything to those people. Gu Changqing doesn't care even more. Since returning from Xuanhuang's secret realm, Gu Changqing has also started to retreat again, preparing to digest the gains of the trip to Xuanhuang's secret realm. And at this time, the Gu family welcomed a group of unexpected guests. Dear guests have come from afar, and my Gu family is sorry for not welcoming you. In front of the main gate of Gu's house in Jianglan City, Gu Yuan, with a group of Gu family elders, bowed slightly and said to the visitor, but his tone was cold, far from the words, which were as intimate as the words, because this so-called distinguished guest was no one else. It was the head of the Jiang family, Zhang Yunshan, and a group of Jiang family seniors. Zhang Baiwei also followed behind. Hearing Gu Yuan's indifferent words, the Jiang family seniors, especially Zhang Baiwei, all looked annoyed. Now, the ancestor of the Jiang family has entered the realm of the God King, and the reputation of the entire Jiang family in the Han Qin Empire has been rising. Even the royal family of the Han Qin Empire is extremely respectful in front of the Jiang family. In their opinion, the head of the Jiang family came in person with all the senior members. The Gu family should at least open the main gate and welcome the whole family to show their fear and trepidation. But now this cold performance, how can the senior members of the Jiang family bear it? It was only because of the explanation given by the head of the family before they came that they temporarily held back their anger. The reason why the Jiang family came here was very simple. Confirm whether the ranking of the Heavenly Demon Monument in the Xuanhuang Secret Realm at that time was true or false. This is why they came to the Gu family in a hurry after the God King came out of retreat and the Jiang family's position was completely consolidated, just to verify whether Zhang Liangxin was the useless girl of the Jiang family they knew. Before the verification results came out, we should be patient with the cold attitude of the Gu family. When the verification results come out, if Zhang Liangxin, who married the Gu family, is really the second genius of the Demon Monument, then everything will be fine. Help the Jiang family to cultivate another genius of spiritual bone. Give the Gu family some rewards and forgive their disrespect for the upper and lower levels. That is not impossible. But if not, slowly clean up the Gu family and let them realize that the Gu family is not even qualified to be a vassal of the Jiang family. Thinking of this, Zhang Yunshan coughed, stopped the elders behind him, and smiled. You are too polite. My father-in-law, our two families are relatives. Why do you want to welcome us from afar? That's right, he said, pretending to be puzzled, looking behind Gu Yuan. Why don't you see my Changqing, my son-in-law, and my beloved daughter Liangxin? To be honest, I have been thinking about my little daughter all these years. Listening to Zhang Yunshan's hypocritical words, let alone the elders of the Gu family, even Gu Yuan, the head of the family and experienced for a long time, was about to burst out and wanted to scold the shameless old thief for still babbling. Before the wedding day, he came once after 2 years of not seeing each other, and said that he missed Zhang Liangxin very much. This is really thick-skinned. Fortunately, at this moment, behind them, 2 childish voices came, breaking the embarrassment. Grandpa, when will Dad come out of seclusion? The source of these 2 children's voices is naturally Gu Yunxi and Gu Qingchen. The 2 little guys came to Gu Yuan one after another and asked repeatedly. The cold attitude of the Gu family has already made the Zhang family's senior executives particularly dissatisfied, seeing that there are 2 little brats coming out to disturb the scene. The Zhang family's senior executives can no longer hold back their anger. A king realm stood up and wanted to scold, but before he could say anything, he saw the faces of the 2 little guys first, and his pupils suddenly shrank.